Good morning. So my project is second grade ELA. So why ELA? Because elementary teachers teach all four of the core subjects: ELA, math, science, and social studies. So my main focus in this project is ELA and science. In second grade, teachers are going to start preparing their students for the state exams that they have to take the following year. My project is focused on deciphering between nonfiction and fiction and why it's not. How do they know it's fiction or nonfiction? Finding the main idea, they have to restate the question, and then lastly, I had the students create their own questions based on the nonfiction pieces they read for science, and then for ELA, I could switch up and I would leave it open. They could do nonfiction or fiction for their questions that they have to choose. I would start off with teaching main idea as well. So I found this worksheet, and they'd have to listen to the story being read, and then they have to circle what the story is mostly about, which that was a cool exercise because I can see if the kids are understanding it, if not, and even if they are all understanding it, we would continue throughout the whole rest of the year focusing on, okay, what's the main idea in this, and so on. For ELA, I found this article. So Superhero Joey, we would again talk about, is this nonfiction, is it fiction, and how do you know? And then I would ask them, after we read the article, what is the story mainly about? They would have to restate the question. So why was Joey dressed like a superhero? Joey was dressed like a superhero because. And then there's some multiple choice, there's fill in the blanks, and then, which is nice too, because then on the back, or even in their journal, this could be a journal entry, they could draw a picture of Superhero Joey and Supergirl. So I really liked that piece. And then we would do more practice. First airplane trip. Again, is this fiction, nonfiction? How do you know? And then these have different types of questions. So they still have like the multiple choice and fill in the blank, but this one has more of the questions to restate the question. So what does a pilot do? The pilot does this. And then what does the pilot say to Jake? The pilot said to Jake this. So they would have to fill that in. And then it gives the answers too, which is nice. And then for science, or we could even do this for ELA, like it's kind of a combined thing. I found Sleepy Bear. So I would ask them, how do you know? Is this nonfiction, fiction? And they would tell me, well, the picture is real, and then it states in fact. So it talks about hibernation and different animals that hibernate, and then they have questions they have to answer as well. And then name 3 other animals that hibernate according to the article. The 3 other animals mentioned, or the 3 other animals that hibernate according to the article are, and then they would list those. It's a lot of practice in second grade for restating the question, so that's why I have multiple worksheets. And then I did a tulip one. Same thing. They would have to, when do tulips bloom? Okay, so if they forgot, they could go back up and look in the article, which is a nice thing for them to do. And then at the end of this one, they could draw some tulips of any color they want, as long as it's red, white, yellow, or purple, or pink. So that was pretty nice. And then this one was cool because it has circle the words in the puzzle. So they have to do like a word search to find the words in the puzzle. And then as another activity, we would listen to Gone Wild, and they would tell me fiction, nonfiction, and they would, then we would read Little Panda, and this could be split into 2 days. Gone Wild, whoever wanted to do questions based on Gone Wild would go into a group, and then whoever wanted to do questions based on Little Panda would go into a group. And they each would have to come up with 1 to 2 questions about the book that could be easily restated, or multiple choice. They could give options. And then I would plug it into Schoolology, and I could make a quiz for them, and then I could have the kids switch, and the students that did Gone Wild would now do Little Panda. And then again, they each would come up with different questions, hopefully. And some of the questions are going to be the same because the books aren't that big and they are only in 2nd grade. So I would just weed through the newer questions that popped up and then plug it into Schoolology, and they'd take another quiz. And then at the end, I would have them do a short journal entry on any one of the fiction or nonfiction books that they read. And my guidelines for this journal entry would be, how do you know it's nonfiction or fiction? State the main idea. And then they would answer 1 or 2 questions from the quizzes they took, if they did it on Gone Wild or Little Panda, and if not, I would come up with some questions based on the other stories. Thank you for watching.